Welcome to HornbillTV's Explainer, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Alngoli. Durga Puja during my school days was all about Indian sweets and a lot of puri and paratha at the Assam Rifles camp in Wokha town. There were lots of food, a lot of Bollywood music and movies at the Assam Rifles camps, movie theater too. Durga Puja is an annual Hindu festival celebrating the Hindu goddess Durga's victory over the demon Mahishasura. The festival is a major Hindu celebration, we all know that. One of the chief highlights of the Durga Puja is the immersion of the idols following worship and celebrations. Now, the festival concludes with devotees embarking on a procession carrying the worshipped idols to a river or any water body and immersing them later. Now, this is symbolic of the deities returning to their cosmic abodes. The immersion of idols in India has often been controversial, ladies and gentlemen. Idol immersion has been banned in the Yamuna since 2019 by the government. Just this year too, the Maharashtra government clarified that immersion of idols in natural water bodies is prohibited during Ganesh and Durga festivals. And this, according to the government, is to prevent water pollution. Government and judicial authorities and environmentalists in India continue to caution against the practice of immersing idols in water bodies, especially in river systems. The reasons, ladies and gentlemen, as you may already be aware, is the pollution and destruction on the health and the life of water bodies, aquatic life, and the environment in general. So in this explainer, HornbillTV will explore some of the issues associated with idol immersion, ladies and gentlemen. While festivals ensure a lot of merrymaking, food and music, it also means that once the celebrations are over, it's the environment that suffers, ladies and gentlemen. To be fair, it's not just during Durga Pujas or Ganesh festivals that various forms of pollutions are left on once the celebrations are done. It is with every one of us, with almost every festival. It's the same with most people during Christmas or New Year celebrations and birthdays. It's the same with our weddings and our feasts, our political functions, and yes, even elections. You've seen the flags, the posters. It just dirties up the entire town, and once the polling is done, nobody's there to clean it up. Litter, waste, flags, nobody bothers about once everything is said and done. However, for now, we'll focus only on idol immersion and its impact on the environment, considering that the Durga Puja festival is on, and we'd like to put this into context. So after the merriment, what is left for the environment to handle is the environmental degradation. Immersing idols lead to water pollution and adversely affect the quality of water, aquatic and marine creatures, and the water ecosystems in general in the long run. So what causes pollution in this regard? It is reported that the current materials used in idols can have effect for about 100 years. This is somewhat similar to single-use plastics, which can take anywhere from 20 years to 500 years to decompose. The thing is, idols are generally made of plaster of Paris, or it is made of plastic or cement. They are adorned with toxic paints and heavy decoration and often synthetic or plastic flowers and ornaments. Again, plaster of Paris is an often disliked material. It is said to contain elements called calcium sulfate hemihydrate. So these calcium sulfate hemihydrates take years to fully dissolve, ladies and gentlemen. During the process too, it leads to a reduction in oxygen levels in the water. This kills fish and other aquatic animals. When the idols are immersed in water, they do not dissolve easily, but instead live on for a decade and transfer from one water body to another, ladies and gentlemen. The effect is said to remain for as long as 100 years. Again, let's have a look at the decorations. Idols are often decorated in paint and of course other synthetic decorative ornaments. It is said that the more colorful and shinier the decorations are, it is an indication that more harmful and toxic elements have undergone into the process and into manufacturing them. So that makes sense. They are decorated in paints that are toxic, or we don't know what kind of materials were used to create these colors. Paints contain heavy metals like lead and mercury. So when they're mixed with water, these metals contribute to the acidic levels of the water. This means these diluted materials are highly dangerous for the environment and for marine life. They can also cause waterborne diseases and skin diseases in humans when they come in contact with water or ingested. It's not just plaster of Paris or paint and synthetic decorative elements that go into the water, ladies and gentlemen. There are other hard pollutants here. Heavy and longer lasting elements such as metal jewelry and plastic flowers go into, and there are even iron and steel rods and wires that go into the water. Again, it is most likely that even flower waste, natural flower waste, have fertilizers and pesticides, which when dissolved will pollute the water. As for the plastic ornaments and flowers, we have already talked about the longevity of plastic waste in the previous explainer about single-use plastic. You can check it out on our social media handles. All these elements and materials add to the pollution of the water bodies. Of course, it's not just the qualitative aspects of damage that idols cause on the environment. It is also visual. Idols obstruct water flow or wash up and litter river banks, which is an eyesore if they happen to emerge in polluted areas, especially in the urban areas. For instance, Dhansari River along the Iron Bridge area is a place where one can easily see a lot of litter and debris there. If this waste wash up in the urban areas, then it's going to be very, very bad for our reputation as a town. But one might ask how several idols immersed in water in a city would possibly have any observable impact on water or the environment. Now, that's the problem. Let's take just one city, Bengaluru. In September this year, The Hindu reported Bengaluru city alone recorded the immersion of approximately 10,357 plaster of Paris idols in lakes, artificial lakes, and tanks on the day of Ganesha festival. All this despite the authorities imposing a blanket ban on the use of idols made of plaster of Paris. The Karnataka government had warned violators that they will face actions on the stringent provisions of the Environment Protection Act under Section 15(1). The government warned that people failing to comply with the order would be fined 1 lakh rupees and could be imprisoned for up to 5 years. 10,357 idols in one city in a single festival, even with a ban still enforced. Do you know how many cities are there in India? There are approximately 4,000 cities and towns across the country. You can do the math. Considering that the water body system in the world is connected, mathematics will be the easiest thing we will be solving in this regard, ladies and gentlemen. So what are the ways we can reduce pollution from idol immersion? According to experts, there are a number of suggestions here that people can take to reduce pollution that is caused to the water system by idols and idol immersion there. Experts suggest that it all starts with the materials that is used in making idols. For instance, using eco-friendly and organic materials should be used in the first and manufacturing process of the idols. So these materials could include clay, sand, and even sugarcane, papers too. But if they have prints on them, on the papers, there will be toxic chemicals and paints. So again, that's, even though it might be paper, if it has prints on them, then I don't think that's something that is very viable there. So plain paper could be suggested. These materials, clay, sand, paper, can dissolve quickly in water. The next is colors and ornamentations. Natural dye is suggested as they can be dissolved easily in water. Dry flower powder or dry color is also said to reduce chemicals and heavy metals. The ornaments can be made of organic materials from fruit seeds, even wood materials, composite wood materials, or even clay and other organic pliable materials. These will make great alternatives to plastic or metals. Now the biggest question, what about the immersion, which is one of the central elements to the most important Hindu festivals? There are some experts who suggest creating a special artificial pond. These ponds can be secluded from the main water bodies and rivers, and they should not really pollute larger water bodies like rivers and lakes. If there are any pollutants, they won't travel out to the rivers or lakes, so artificial water bodies are suggested. Some have even suggested water tanks to fulfill the symbolism and meaning associated with idol immersion. Thank you for watching Hornbill TV, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Al. See you next time.